Joining us now, Foundation for Defense of Democracy's Senior Fellow Behnam Ben Taleblu joins us. Great to see you.
Thank you for having me.
So tell us what this is going to look like for the next 45 days or so, with all these foreign actors wanting to have so much influence on the presidential election.
Well, in short, it's going to be very messy. As you know, America's authoritarian adversaries, whether that's Russia, China, Iran, North Korea, you name it, they're learning from one another. And the playbook that they have involves using the cyber domain, the freedom of speech that we have here, the digital freedoms that Americans have against Americans. And this does line up in a somewhat partisan fashion here. The Russians are looking to prevent a Kamala victory. The Iranians are looking to prevent a Trump victory. And on that last point, it's quite clear why. The Islamic Republic of Iran is the world's foremost state sponsor of terrorism. President Trump did immense damage to the Islamic Republic's economy during his immensely successful maximum pressure campaign, where he disproved most skeptics, politicians, and economists by doing record damage in record time unilaterally, more damage than about 10 years of multilateral sanctions, in fact. And I would say if I was the Islamic Republic, they would be scared. They're acting scared, and they're trying to press upon the domestic cleavages in our society to get what they can and to feed whatever it is that they have hacked, whether that's real or fake, and get it out there into the open source, whether that means trying to tempt the Kamala camp, trying to tempt the Democratic Party, or simply trying to get this information out there on social media and disinformation websites.
Now, you look at this, and you mentioned that Russia wants to prevent Kamala Harris from winning. So we're not supposed to take Vladimir Putin at his word when he said recently that he was actually supporting her?
Well, you should take Vladimir Putin at his word when he threatens to invade Ukraine. You should take Vladimir Putin at his word when he talks about NATO expansion. You should take Vladimir Putin at his word when he talks about using some of the most dangerous weapons. But make no mistake, Vladimir Putin is looking to press upon the existing partisan cleavages that exist in our country and in our society. And in that regard, unfortunately, he has a strong track record dating back to President Bush in the 2000s, where he's able to use signs, symbols, and even language to dupe Americans, including the American president.
Do you think we're equipped as a country to deal with the onslaught of foreign election interference that we're about to see? I've had people, including Mikhail Khodorkovsky, who's one of Vladimir Putin's rivals, formerly the richest man in Russia, say that they really don't have a preferred candidate that they want to see win. What they really want to see is chaos. What they want to see are Americans fighting over the First Amendment, stuff like that.
That could be a short-term goal. In the medium term, they may want to have a correlation of policies that end with the base of one camp versus another. Listen, a lot of this stuff is speculation, it's analysis. We can debate it, but that one point that you mentioned is shared by all of the authoritarian adversaries, Russia, China, North Korea, Iran, because when Americans fight each other, whether that's from the left to the right or the right to the left, it's not the other side that wins. It's the nation as a whole that loses. And it's the Ayatollahs, it's Putin, it's Xi, it's the Kim dynasty that wins. So in essence, if I think what all these actors are trying to do is to have Americans serve as proxies and agents unwillingly or unknowingly of these authoritarian adversaries.
Now, obviously, this is nothing new. We really started to hear a lot about it in the run-up to the 2016 election. We heard about it in 2020. We're hearing about it now. Are we better prepared to deal with this type of stuff, or are the hackers usually one step ahead?
Well, I think in terms of law and infrastructure and technology, we have the advantage. But this is an area where the answer is political and, dare I even say, cultural. And the fact that our partisan divides have become deeper, the fact that our partisan divides have become more public and more vitriolic tells me that, unfortunately, we don't have the cultural immunity. We are more likely to fall for this stuff. We are more likely to inadvertently propagate this stuff. And that's why this is a big fear for me, regardless if it's coming from Moscow or Tehran.
And I think that that's the real lesson here, is that if you're not sure about something, if you don't trust the source of information, as an individual using social media, just don't share it. Just don't hit the retweet button. Don't share it with your friends. It really is going to take a lot of discretion on behalf of the individual, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's about the individual, but beyond the individual, it's about the family, it's about the community, it's about the society, and it's about the country. And we should be thinking in those grander terms when looking at the 2024 election, because that is fundamentally what is at stake here.
Yeah. Yeah, no one's coming to save you from this stuff. It's going to take a personal commitment and, as you said, a community-wide effort. Behnam Ben Taleblu, thanks for being with us today. We really appreciate your insight on this.